Ladies and gentlemen, so I was contacted by this organizing committee, none other than the CEO himself, to present on this 3MCPD issues clarified. This is my presentation outline. What are 3MCPD and GE? This is the basic question. Some might have heard it only for the first time, and some is just what I call a revision. And then how 3MCPD and GE developed. Why 3MCPD are very important. Then we will talk about the status of 3MCPD in Malaysian palm oil, and also how to reduce 3MCPD, and finally, of course, the conclusion. Well, what 3MCPD E is esters, and GE. What are 3MCPD and GE? So look at the terminology here. 3MCPD is monochloropropane, very mouthful, right? And such as well, 3MCPD, 3-monochloropropane ester. That is 3MCPD, this is 3MCPD-E. And then glycidyl ester is, okay, now, look at here. Why is it possibly carcinogenic to humans, nephrotoxic also reported by EFSA, and GE also probably carcinogenic to humans. That is why it is so important to vegetable oils, not only palm oil. So what are the 3-MCPD-GE? Again, this is basic structure of 3-MCPD-E. This is 3-MCPD monoesters. This is 2-MCPD monoester. This is 3-MCPD diester. This is glycidyl ester. Basically, the key point here, the key word is always chlorine. Yeah, and the presence of chlorine here. Look at here. Chlorine. Yeah, the key word is chlorine. Chloro. Yeah, chloro. It's always about chlorine. So now we move to the next one. So how 3-MCPD develops, how it was developed. So factors contributing to formation of 3-MCPD in palm oil, because the chemical compound will develop during the process of vegetable oil refining and so on. So the presence of diglycerides or DAG and chlorine, yeah, the keyword is again, the keyword is again the chlorine. In crude palm oil, bleaching clay, and steam. Steam also sometimes you use tap water and so on. You always have chlorine inside them. Then the other one is acid degumming and acid activated bleaching clay. High temperature. This is where we can control both. All of these are controllable items. High temperature is a very important component, whether you're going to be successful in producing low MCPD or high MCPD, low output or low throughput. Okay, again, so MPOB has conducted trials here, several trials, this is of them. So looking at 3-MCPD, it was found that acid degumming followed by bleaching causes 3-MCPD esters in bleach oils. If you look at our olein, for example, is RBD, refined bleach and deodorized. Bleach and deodorized. Those are refined, is okay, just a physical refining. Bleach is of course using the bleaching agent, clay and so on, and then this refined is deodorized is always using the temperature. Now FFA here, for example, and DAG are not directly correlated to the MCPD esters, but somehow they are weakly correlated. High deodorization temperature, as I mentioned, led to the formation of 3-MCPD-E. So we have to understand the problem first before we can solve the problem, come with a solution. Again, factors contributing to formation of GE. GE is formed from DAG of above 230 degrees Celsius. That is the temperature above 300 260, actually it's 260. That is the norm for the deodorization temperature. Typical DAG values for palm oil, at least in Malaysia, is about 6 to 7%. Some reports suggest that the amount of GE formed is correlated to the amount of DAG. Okay, DAG contains about 3% would reduce GE content, and post-refining, as an example, for refining again at this temperature would reduce the GE to 230, around that temperature range. So now, why is this GEG so important? Why is it so concerned? Well, in May this year, 3rd of May, EFSA, European Food Safety Authority, released a report reporting on the levels of this, the term as contaminants in vegetable oils, including palm oil. It's just not targeting palm oil alone, but all other vegetable oils. So EFSA proposed, because I just mentioned it's carcinogenic and so on, and also cancerous, attacking the liver. EFSA, this is the TDI. TDI is tolerable daily intake of 0.8 microgram per kilogram, or PBB, parts per billion body weight, yeah, for 3 MSPDE, and the levels, current levels in vegetable oils here recommended here for a number of palm oil fats is relatively high compared with other vegetable oils. So, what are the consequences? Why is it so important? So this is the consequences first on health. There are other consequences as well. Consequences on health. So EFSA, Codex, WHO stated that 2 and 3 MCPD are, as I mentioned earlier, they are carcinogenics, nephrotoxic. This is in relation to the kidneys failure with the one or both kidneys. And also, if it is the 3 MCPD is free MCPD is carcinogenic. This is also a mouthful word to swallow. Well, this is the consequence on health. So if it causes cancer, it affect your kidney and so on, why do we consume? Why are we not affected so far? So let's see whether why it is not. Nobody has the answer yet. But there are some what they call extrapolation being done by EFSA. 3-MSD was found to be carcinogenic to small animals and has been extrapolated to possibly pose same threat to humans. So it is not scientifically proven yet, right? So as I mentioned here, there's no study against this is small animals, even the larger animals, including clinical trials for human as well, are still yet to be made available. So the other consequence, if of course why we are here today, is about trade. Yeah, it's economics, consequences on health. Consequences on trade. So if palm oil is a poison, for example, or other vegetables are poison, so who wants to buy a poison and consume? So the palm oil consumption, market intake or consumption will be reduced, market share. Consumers will shy away from palm oil. So, for example here, Italian supermarket has stepped up the no palm oil label. We will be hearing from our next speaker after this. So other European, if Italian has done so, so other consuming countries might follow suit as well. So these are possible consequences. So the other consequences is of course the plantation industries themselves, and especially on the small farmers. Here we usually refer as smallholders, but for the general public, it's also referred as small farmers. Small farmers in Malaysia owns roughly about 4 hectares of all palm area. It can range between 0.5 up to 40 hectares. That's the limit for the definition for smallholders. Anything below that 48 hectares is terminology is for smallholder farmers. So, if nobody is buying palm oil, nobody consuming palm oil, this will affect these people. Yeah, why oil palm was introduced in the 60s and so on? Because it is a commodity that can alleviate poverty in this country and at the same time generate resources and income for the nation and good for health and etc. etc. So we have some 400,000 people employed in plantation directly. What was mentioned, 600,000 just now by the Honorable Deputy Minister. So about of that is about more than 200,000 are independent small farmers. These are the only livelihood or source of income for this group of people. So monthly income, for example, FELDA, as I mentioned, in 1960s, FELDA was developed until now. You look at the compared with the poverty level, national poverty level of 360 or 190 USD. FELDA is doing relatively well because they are organized farmers. However, the independent smallholders, the opposite of organized farmers is independent farmers, so they are also doing relatively well with respect to farming oil palm. So, status of 3MCPD in Malaysia. Surveys carried out, several surveys we have done. Levels of 3MCPD in this country for refined palm oil is 5 to 6 milligram per kilogram. Refineries at 1 to 3. Several refineries, however, can manage with their good manufacturing practice and so on. They were able to reduce to up to 1 parts, below 1 parts per million. So now, look at here. 3MCPD and RBD, refined bleached rice palm oil. This is a survey, 2014, is still ongoing. So we have this, for example, these are the distribution of 3MCPD. So the levels of, for example, here, yeah, this is 1, okay, the levels here is 1. A cluster here, number of samples here up to 10 or more than 10 here. There are also clusters above these average figures. The other one is 3MCPDE in cooking oil, basically is palm oil surveyed samples produced from various Asian countries. Here, the countries Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, and Pakistan. These are the cooking oils from the shelf. So we did this survey at MPOB. So Malaysia, for example, this is the one in blue. The level is around 2.5, some even below 1. This is Indonesia. This is Thailand. Thailand, one sample is extremely high. We don't know the reason, but this is just a survey. And then for Vietnam here, and also, sorry, this is Philippines, this is Vietnam, and also one sample from Pakistan. Pakistan is about similar to that of Malaysia and also Indonesia. So our recommendations, how to reduce 3MCPD and also GE, is of course we need a low FFA, free fatty acid content, and low DAG in CPO. Okay, the first one, then rinse or wash the CPO. There's also suggestion to wash the FFB, but that one economically not feasible yet. So CPO, there's some technology. We are still identifying the most suitable technology prior to refining process. So we need to wash. Wash meaning basically physically washing with water. Yeah, because oil and water don't mix. So we can separate it out again. And then combine acid degamming with water degamming, again using water. And use bleaching clay with lowest total chlorine content, while pH. pH is very important, almost neutral or alkaline. Yeah, so pH is another, what we call it, is another element that is controllable, which can reduce levels of 3-MCPD and GE in vegetable oils. So here, the second last slide here, reduce deodorization temperature. Current practice is 260. So you can reduce it lower or 230 because, as I mentioned, the throughput will be lower, right? Throughput will be lower, but the output in terms of quality will be higher. So there is a decision to be made by various companies whether to go for certain segment of the industry, yeah, because certain levels of 3-MCPD and GE are required for certain product formulation, for example, young adults and also for infant food. So post-refining under mild condition lowers GE, yeah, post-refining. Okay. Now, how to reduce, again, effect of water washing. This is an example of some trials that we did. Here, for example, two samples here, two groups of samples. Yeah, two groups of samples. This is untreated. This is wash. Yeah? This is an example. Washing of these ones basically reduce the levels of 3-MCPD extras about 50%. Okay, this is another trick that we can follow. Now, how to, 3-MCPD and GE, there's a methods of analysis, AOCS official method. So 3-in-1 and so on, these are the methods, these are the flow which can be carried out. MPOB has these facilities which we also counter check with other labs worldwide to get this accredited worldwide and also. But we are also providing, MPOB also providing training to our industry players to help each other in terms of screening, measuring the levels of the contaminants in palm oil and also with other oils as well. This is again the action plan. Action plan in reducing 3-MCPD. You've seen this photo from Pemandu just now. Current status is 3-MCPD is about 5 to 6, GE is about 7 to 8 ppm. So the levels to be reduced is yet to be determined, pending a stakeholders consultation and also pending on the acceptance by the importing country. So although, for example, EFSA has reported that they are proposing 0.8 parts per billion, but we are yet to determine because this will have some economic implication in terms of production, yeah, in terms of sale and so on. So levels of reduction of 3-MCPD in FFB, for example, in using fertilizer, this is going to be a long term. Fertilizer now, currently the fertilizer, for example, that are using chloride content is potassium chloride, KCl. KCl, let's say, is about 1,000 tons, 1,000 ringgit per ton. But you change to eliminate KCl, eliminate the chlorine content, replace it sulfate, for example. KS2O4, potassium sulfate, that will increase the price of the fertilizer or this input about 3 times, about 3,000 tons, 3,000 ringgit per ton. So these are the levels that this is the action plan. Together with Pemandu, we've been brainstorm and also with parties such, of course, the Ministry of Plantation Industries and Commodities. Next step, this is the what we call detail of phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. First, of course, now we are targeting the refineries first because this is the end product within the supply chain. Also, phase 1 is also at the refineries. We with MPIC together with MPOB and Pemandu have called ourselves an expert team or form an expert team to identify a soluble, a possible and feasible technology to be adopted by the industry in a short period of time short term, medium term, and long term. Again, this is a proposed activity. This is a timeline. I am to, for example, here, immediate action is into the technology partner, sourcing of technologies, and then pilot or test run until we get possible regulate changes at refineries with proven mitigation measures. So it will take some time until 2019. So phase 3, as I mentioned, is a long-term effect because plantation research, biological research will take a longer time. Agronomy research, fertilizer research, for example, at least some to minimum. Because the effect of fertilizer of plants on fertilizer or on weather, at least 2 years. But before that, we have 2 years is, for example, there is the first reaction by the plants. But of course, we need statistical proven technology and also statistical strength. Therefore, we need a longer time than 2 years or maybe 5 years, 6 years. So this is also in the pipeline. Okay. Now, what we do now, what we are doing here, we are communicating with the stakeholders. So next step is communication, or sometimes we call it advocacy, outreach program. So we are doing now road shows for awareness program. As this member, some members of the industry also have not heard this word. Yeah, when we had our stakeholder consultation in May or in July, early July, some of the captains of the industry also, this is the first time he's hearing this word. So is this a new thing for some people? So this roadshow is necessary, and also discussion, engagement, which we have done early on. First round to get to where we want to go, and also at what level of this MCPD we want to achieve. That what we done in July, and we are going to the again every now and then. Okay, so again, so now communication here, issues. Okay, issues that in Europe, for example, in EU, 3 MCPD and GE. The other is biodiversity bill, proposing increase in tax. Biodiversity bill is also in terms of reforestation, no food label, no palm oil labeling, and so on. So we went to here. We went to Europe twice this year. The first one was led by MPOB in April. The second round of European tour was led by the minister himself. So we met all parties of concern, policymakers, for example, in Europe, EU members of parliament, Belgium, and also France. So seminars on 3 MCPD was well accepted for the first time, although it just after the summer holidays in Europe. Normally, when we carry out seminars on palm oil, we usually get around 40 or 50, maybe 60. This time is about more than 150 people very concerned or attended this seminar that we conducted. Okay. We also continuous discussion with COSTAM and also